What is up, Internet World, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I bring you the 2022 Cadillac CT5-V Blackwing. This is the greatest car ever. Maybe not ever, but so close. This thing is a monster. Now, I experienced this thing months ago on the track and I said, I gotta bring it here. I wanna get another piece of this thing. Manual transmission, 6.2 liter supercharged that makes 668 horsepower and 659 pound-feet of torque, all to the back wheels with these Pirelli 4Ss. Michelin 4Ss? Man, this thing is so much fun, crazy. I love it so much. I actually can buy two of these for the price I paid for that Tesla. So should I buy two of these and give up the Tesla? The Tesla is good because it's a one-trick pony. You see, it gets reaction videos like no other car does. This thing is raw, it's emotion, it's feeling, it's just passion, it's soul, it's everything that the Tesla does not have. But the Tesla does one thing really well, and that's checking the box of the fastest accelerating car currently in the world as a four-door. This thing is a four-door monster, American muscle. That's just so thrilling. Man, have I wanted you on the street for so long. Now we have manual transmission, 6-speed, 668 horsepower, a 6.2 liter with a 1.7 liter supercharger packed on top, with a gearbox that you can do this to. Check this out. To the ground, normal mode. I do not take my foot off the clutch. I just simply power shift every gear. It's the greatest thing ever. So much fun. Everything's flying around and power shift. And the coolest part about it is the 4Ss, which is the Pilot Sport 4Ss, try to hold it. The electronic differential tries to do a good job, and it does. It's just so much power to this back end. And yes, you can easily get this back end, but listen. Noise is so good. It's so good. Maybe when the Pilot Sport 5Ss come around, it'll look a little bit better, but still, it just does such a good job. Now, people will say, man, this thing makes 668 horsepower. How come it's not faster? The times I'm reading are like 3.5 seconds. This is rear-wheel drive. This is rear-wheel drive, not four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. We won't spend too much time on the exterior because we've already gone over the CT5-V normal. This is the Blackwing, and it has some carbon fiber pieces, as you can see on the bottom. It's a bit wider, a bit sexier, but all in all, it's all about the power plant. This power plant is similar to what AMG does. It is hand-built, one man, one engine, and they put this hand-built motor all together. That makes 668 horsepower. Oh, gotta get out of here. This thing is built for abuse. It has titanium valves. It has forged pistons. It also has a sticker that says handcrafted by Crystal Strickland. It has this monster strut tower base that keeps it all together. You can get this thing in manual transmission, voila, thank you press car, and an automatic 10-speed. It also makes more power than anything in its class, including the BMW M5 CS, the Mercedes-Benz E63, and the GT63S. Anything you put this against, this makes more power. Now it does weigh over 4,000 pounds, so maybe there's some movement there in trying to propel this monster to the rear tires, but there's one thing I guarantee that'll happen this year. You see, I can touch and feel it right now because it's in one piece. But sometime this year, somebody's gonna crash this thing. This car excites me like crazy. Check out these details. This front bumper has the carbon that slides all the way to the edge and then upward. Haven't seen that before. I see it on the back, but never on the front. The bronze wheels, the bronze calipers, the Michelin Pilot 4S's. Money. Even on the side here, you've got this ductwork that slides all the way back and the carbon on the side of it. Now this has carbon package 1 and carbon package 2. Even on the mirrors, it's got the shape of the Cadillac logo on it, the details. Well, here's the deal. This thing doesn't say Blackwing anywhere on it. It just says the exact same thing as the regular CT5-V. So how would you really differentiate this car? Maybe this spoiler? You buy it aftermarket. This carbon, aftermarket. Nothing, just the sound. So this trunk is smaller than a 2022 Honda Civic. It's tiny. Take a look. Back seat of the CT5-V Blackwing, and the back seats are no different than the regular CT5-V, except there's some touches when you buy Blackwing. Now obviously when I sit here you can see all this massive carbon fiber on the back of these seats and the V badges. The size is exactly the same, but you have these fancy seat belts, and yes, you have this stitching on the door, and it makes it feel more expensive and sporty. It still has this really annoying handle when you try to get in the car. It doesn't actually pull out. There's a button you have to press and then it opens. So there's always that delay when you try to open and close the door. And there's a USB-C on the back and a cigarette lighter to the front. This thing has a V animation. When you get inside, it gives this cool little look knowing that you're in a Blackwing. It still doesn't say Blackwing except for right here. It says Blackwing. That's it. Right on the seats. And these seats are definitely Blackwing seats. They're sick. They look and feel awesome. They also have changed the steering wheel a little bit. They've actually had this Ferrari-inspired little toggle that lets you toggle between traction wet, dry, sport, race 1, race 2, all the good stuff. And then of course the V buttons right here. Everything else is sort of up to date. They've added a 12-inch driver display screen now, no more gauges like in the CT5-V we reviewed. You also have this 10-inch screen that's touchscreen that has Android Auto and of course Apple CarPlay. You also have wireless charging here. That's all kind of 2022. What's cool is manual transmission. It's got this real good Corvette feel when I push that Tremec from first to second dry shifting. Let's take it for a ride. You know, okay, so just hear me out. Why don't people buy this car? And I'm not saying that because like nobody buys this car. I'm saying it because there's not like a 5-year Porsche type lineup of this car. It's not like a GT3. Obviously, there's really no comparison. That has such a cult following, all that stuff. And this thing is just a domestic, uses the same engine, you know, all the stuff that is already out there, basically. But the crazy part is that people will line up to buy like a GT500 because it has some history to it. I get it. But driving that and driving this is just, it's like I can see through this window. I'm sitting in a good position. It sounds good. It feels way more planted. But it's probably not picked up because maybe on the exterior, it's just not exactly what people want when you walk into a store with your wife or girlfriend and say, I want to buy that. She looks at you and says, why? There's no way she's going to say, I love the way that thing looks. It just looks so manly. And that's maybe the problem. But that's cool because it leaves units for guys like me to buy. Because with a price, base price in Canada of in the 80s, which is a lot of money, but for this kind of performance, like a built motor, a manual transmission, seats for everybody, great seats in itself, carbon, yeah, it's just kind of basic, I guess, in some respects, but man, listen to this thing. So is it a full track car? And the answer is no. This thing has MagRide 4.0, so it's comfortable and smooth. It's not stiff at all. When I did take it on the track, this thing does haul down the track. You can definitely feel its weight because it does weigh about 4,200 pounds in an automatic and just over 4,000 pounds in a manual transmission. Just so much fun. Maybe because it's manual transmission, but I've never had a car that has this much power in a manual transmission, that has a 4-door sedan that you can take the family and you can lease it and you can finance it and you don't have to put all your cash life savings into it because it's like this out of the box. Oh, I love it so much.